It was Agatha all along, but what is her master plan? Folks, if you are anything like me, you've had Catherine Hahn's dulcet tones singing "It was Agatha all along" in your head on a loop all weekend long. You know, there used to be actual useful knowledge about there, like who invented the steamship and algebra, but now it's just that delightful Munsters-esque theme song. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then please stop this video right now, go watch WandaVision episode 7, and then watch our breakdown of that episode, because we're going to spoil everything in short order. So make sure that you're up to date, or make like the Vision and peace out as soon as you can.
So I'll just meet you there then!
In our supersized breakdown of WandaVision episode 7, we covered all of the many shocking twists, character reveals, and numbers that we now know are just Stan Lee's birthday and nothing excelsi more. But now with 2 episodes left in WandaVision, oh my god, we're entering the endgame.
We're in the endgame now.
Yes, thank you, Doctor Strange. Now we have a clear-cut villain in the form of Agatha Harkness, the nosy neighbor, formerly known as Agnes, who we probably should have known all along. It's just a portmanteau of her comic book counterpart.
You didn't think you were the only magical girl in town, did you?
Although we have been talking about this since episode 1, we still did our best surprised Pikachu face when Agnes revealed to Wanda that not only is she actually the witch Agatha Harkness, but she's been responsible for everything going on in Westview, gumming up the works at the talent show, making Herb forget what he was about to tell Vision, bringing Pietro, wink, to Wanda's door, and oh yeah, killing Sparky the dog. So why is Agatha doing all of this? What clues can we glean from her magical murder basement? And just who the heck is Pietro anyway? Well, we have some theories, so let's get into it. So Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness, a powerful witch who in the comics was part of the coven of witches who were on trial in the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts during the 17th century, but she ultimately escaped persecution thanks to the intervention of the time-traveling superhero Firestar. You know, that old extremely plausible explanation for this. Over the years, Agatha has appeared time and time again, but rarely as an outright villain, which makes this WandaVision twist all the more surprising. In the comics, she actually helped train Wanda how to properly use her powers and tap into the chaos magic that Wanda uses to rewrite reality. But perhaps most importantly, Agatha played an instrumental role in the saga surrounding Wanda and Vision's twin sons, Tommy and Billy.
For the children.
That's right, all of this seems to be for the children. But why? Well, there are a few reasons. Number 1, to give Wanda what she always wanted, a stable family life with the person she loves away from the murder and mayhem of the real world. Number 2, for Agatha to test the limits of Wanda's power. And number 3, as an elaborate trap for Wanda Maximoff. In both the comics and on WandaVision, the birth of Billy and Tommy seems to defy all medical explanation because Vision isn't human, he's a synthezoid, so reproduction should theoretically be impossible. In West Coast Avengers number 51 and 52, Agatha tries to give Wanda the birds and the USBs talk, but she doesn't want to hear it.
When a man and a woman love each other very much.
As it turns out, Billy and Tommy aren't real. Wanda's powers willed them into being, and they were made flesh by fragments of the demon Mephisto's soul. It also involved a goober named Master Pandemonium, who at one point turned the kiddos into what I've described in the past as a pair of screaming beef mittens, and, you know, that said, I'd be well and truly shocked if we see that in the show. So Wanda Maximoff is a Nexus being. She's an anchor point for this world and the multiverse, and that's hinted at by that episode 7 commercial. And she reaches out across the multiverse to pull in the necessary material, i.e. soul fragments, to bring her sons to life. Unfortunately, that is not the same as having the power to create true life. Now, one thing leads to another, and then Billy and Tommy do eventually get reabsorbed into Mephisto, so Agatha, in an effort to spare Wanda from her grief, represses her memories of ever having kids in the first place, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but gaslighting a person as powerful as Wanda has catastrophic consequences when the truth comes to light. In this case, it leads to the death of several Avengers, reality getting rewritten so her family reigns supreme in House of M, and a mutant genocide. So remember, secrets are no fun, especially in Earth 616. Holy cow, just don't lie to Wanda. In WandaVision, Wanda repeatedly asserts that she doesn't know how or why she wound up in Westview or how the hex even began. She does know that she's in control of this little world that she's transformed into a slice of suburban bliss, but that control begins to slip whenever Wanda expends a massive amount of energy. Last episode, we saw the hex shifting through different eras seemingly at will, and Wanda seemed completely drained after expanding the borders of Westview. Likewise, in episode 3, when she gives birth to her twins, we see the house going haywire. We see Wanda losing control of her reality as as she expends a massive amount of energy, and something or someone is draining this energy or feeding off of it from Wanda. And to make matters worse, Billy and Tommy are straight up missing after they went to Agatha's house. So did she eat them as witches are wont to do?
I actually did bite a kid once.
No, I don't think she ate them. They may still be alive and well and could be used as bait to get Wanda to comply with whatever Agatha wants her to do, or in a far darker revelation, we could learn that their souls have been reclaimed as part of whatever sinister being Agatha's actually serving. That's right, folks, while it was Agatha all along, I do still think that she's acting as an agent of another force that is far darker and more powerful, and as much as I hate to say it, might not be Mephisto.
What did you say?
So who is Agatha working for? Well, we think it could be Ralph, Agatha's often referenced but never seen husband.
Ralph, my husband, Ralph.
Except Ralph, in this instance, is whatever entity is trapped inside of or working through that glowing book in Agatha's basement. You know, in case the demonic faces, hexagonal runes, and Baphomet skull on the wall weren't enough of a red flag already. This book is most likely the Darkhold, a grimoire of eldritch magic made by the elder god Chthon, a primordial evil in the Marvel Universe that marked Wanda at birth as a potential vessel for him to occupy, and he's seemingly a major reason she can tap into chaos magic and alter reality as we know it. Chthon left this spell book behind as a way to bind himself to Earth because he can't leave the dimension in which he resides without a host body for him to occupy. And what better host body for an ancient evil like Chthon to take control of than someone as powerful as Wanda Maximoff, someone who can rewrite the fabric of reality and create bridges across the multiverse. In the comics, Chthon targeted Wanda for possession after she trained in witchcraft under Agatha Harkness, reaching the presumed height of her powers. So perhaps Agatha, in exchange for some sort of boon or power, is preparing Wanda to become a vessel for Ralph to inhabit, and everything she's done to Wanda in the Hex has been designed to push Wanda's powers to their limit, leaving her as vulnerable as possible to hostile magical forces. I mean, remember that creepy yogurt commercial? Clearly someone or something wants to eat yo magic, Wanda, and sustain itself off of your powers.
Now I have time to hang Finn.
Adding further fuel to this fire is a recent interview with Esquire in which Paul Bettany reveals there is one character who has not yet been revealed, saying it's an actor I have longed to work with all of my life. So while many of us thought that big Luke Skywalker level cameo was Evan Peters as Pietro Maximoff, it sounds like another major character could still be on the way. And let's face it, this could just be Paul Bettany deflecting from Benedict Cumberbatch's rumored appearance as Doctor Strange in WandaVision, given how this show will tie directly into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Badness, but we think it's actually going to be the reveal of a bigger, badder villain, and hopefully another musical number about how it wasn't just Agatha all along, but Agatha and Ralph.
Ralph, my husband, Ralph.
Now you might be saying to yourself, but Dan, the Darkhold already appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways, and you're right, it did. But you know who doesn't care one lick about either of those shows? Kevin Feige. Let's say for the sake of argument though that this isn't the Darkhold. Well, as we explained on our episode 7 breakdown, it could also be the Druid Tome, a book of magic connected to the demon Samhain. But for more on that, watch our episode 7 breakdown or check out Rosie Knight's article over on Nerdist.com, which I'll link to in the description below. Alright, so we've summed up what Agatha's up to and why she could be doing all of this, but that still leaves us with one major question. Who is Pietro Maximoff really? Well, there are a couple possibilities. This could actually be Evan Peters' Quicksilver from the X-Men universe pulled in through some sort of multiversal nexus gate, but that seems less and less likely with each passing moment, especially given his status as Agatha's henchman.
Snoopers gonna snoop.
Considering that Pietro knew everything Wanda was doing with the Hex and just enough details about their life to seem convincing, we think that Pietro could actually be Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch. But where has Nicholas been hiding this whole time before he knocked on Wanda's door in episode 5? Well, I've got 2 words for you: Senor Scratchy. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but witches do tend to have animal familiars. In the comics, Agatha has a black cat named Ebony, who we first saw in Easter egg form in episode 2's opening credits, but in WandaVision, she's rarely seen without her beloved bunny, who just so happens to share a surname with her canonical son in the comics. Previously, we theorized that Senor Scratchy could be a reference to Old Scratch, a nickname given to the devil, thereby proving irrefutably that he's Mephisto, or Mephisto, I guess I should say. But now we're thinking that if this rabbit is anything but an adorable animal, it's Pietro, or Nicholas Scratch. After all, there's that old idiom, quick like a bunny. Wouldn't be too much of a stretch for that to translate into magical super speed as well. That said, the reveal of Agatha's purple magic pushing Pietro to Wanda's door might take some of the air out of this particular theory, unless she was projecting Senior Scratchy into human form during that scene and channeling specific lines and memories for him to use so he can convince Wanda that he is who he says he is. Now that said, ancient evil or not, Agatha is up to no good and Wanda will definitely have her hands full. We'll just have to wait and see what happens and if our theories are correct as we head into the 8th episode of WandaVision this Friday on Disney+. In the meantime, folks, tell us, what did you think of this episode? Do you think that Agatha is the true villain of WandaVision, or is she working for someone else?
Ralph, my husband, Ralph.
And who could Paul Bettany possibly be teasing as this mystery cameo? Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.